Hello everyone and welcome to my updated Zulrah guide. So around the release of Zulrah, I did make a guide on the boss, but since then Jagex has updated some of the mechanics of the boss, so today I'm going to make a guide giving you guys all the updated information. Also keep in mind this is a fairly long guide, there's a lot to go over, so if you want to check the description, I do have a table of contents listed. Zulrah is a level 725 solo only safe boss, meaning that you can reclaim your items if you die, that is located just south of Port Tyrus. It requires the completion of the quest Regicide, and you need to attack it with either magic, range, or both. In order to effectively kill Zulrah, I recommend you have at least 80 plus magic and range, or around 85 to 90 plus range if you are using only range, but I highly recommend using both attack styles if you can. The notable drops for this boss are the Serpentine Visage, which is used to make the Serpentine Helm, the Magic Fang, which you can attach to either the Trident of the Seas or the Staff of the Dead, the Tanzanite Fang, which is used to make the Toxic Blowpipe, and the Uncut Onyx. So let's talk about the different phases you will see from Zulrah throughout the boss fight. So the first phase is the green phase, and on this phase it will use range attacks only, so you want to pray range and you're going to want to use magic against it. When it turns blue, it will use both magic and range, and it does this completely randomly, so you can't pray switch or anything. All you can do is pray magic and hope you don't get range too much, and when it turns blue, you're going to attack it with range. When it turns red, it will be using melee, and it also has a special melee attack. Now what its special attack does is basically it will target you, and about 3 seconds after it targets you, it will do a sweeping attack. Now if the sweeping attack hits you, it will knock you back and stun you. So the best way to avoid this is just to run about 3 spaces away from the direction that it is pointing. It's very easy to dodge, and again, if it's melee, you're going to want to use magic against it. And then the last phase, I'm going to refer to this phase as the Jad Phase. So from here on out, if I say Jad Phase, this is what I am talking about. It is going to use both magic and range, but this one is predictable. So depending upon the rotation, it will either start with a magic or a range hit, and after it uses magic or range, it will alternate to the different attack style. So say it starts with magic, the next attack will be range, the attack after that will be magic, the one after that will be range, so on and so forth. So if you get a Jad Phase, it will alternate every single time which attack it is using, and it's very easy to pray against. So some other important mechanics to understand are Venom, the Snakelings, and the Toxic Clouds. First of all, Venom is a form of poison that actually does more damage over time. Now there are 3 basic ways you can deal with this. You can either use anti-venom potions, anti-poison potions, or you can use a Serpentine Helm. Now anti-venom potions, either plus or regular, are going to be the most effective way of dealing with this. You'll use far less doses per kill than you will using anti-poisons, but if you use something like Antidote plus pluses, it does work, but I still highly recommend either using an anti-venom or using a Serpentine Helm. Now the Serpentine Helm is basically, once you have the helm, it's basically a free way of dealing with venom. When you have the helm on, you cannot be poisoned whatsoever. So while wearing the helm, you will not be venomized, if that's a word, by Zulrah at all. So if you have one of those and you don't plan on using Void, that is another very effective way of dealing with venom. Snakelings are small monsters that are spawned by Zulrah. He will use a white orb attack, and when it hits the ground, a Snakeling will spawn. They only have 1 hit point, but they do very high damage. So the way you remedy that is by wearing a Ring of Recoil. As soon as they damage you, your Ring of Recoil will do damage back to them, and will kill them because again they only have 1 hit point. They're very easy to deal with, you just have to be careful and make sure you have a Ring of Recoil on at all times, otherwise they can really start to combo you pretty badly. And lastly, Toxic Clouds are clouds of venom that are spawned by Zulrah throughout the boss fights, and I will go over with you when they will spawn based on the rotation later on, but if you stand anywhere near or in these Toxic Clouds, you will get dealt rapid venom damage, so the best way you can overcome this is just by knowing the map and knowing where to stand based on where they are going to spawn, but you will learn about that in just a little bit. Alright, so really quickly guys, I do want to touch on the use of Vengeance at Zulrah. Now I haven't talked about this yet, and I didn't plan on talking about it, but I figured I should throw this in here because I want this to be a very complete guide. So you can use Vengeance at Zulrah, and it will deflect damage back to the boss, and this definitely will speed up your kills. However, I don't recommend you doing this until a little bit later on once you get comfortable at Zulrah and can consistently get kills without running low on food. Vengeance uses 3 different inventory slots because you need 3 kinds of runes, and when you're first starting at Zulrah, having 3 more sharks can definitely help you a ton on whether or not you get the kill. So if you're first starting out, I definitely do not recommend using Vengeance, and for that reason, I am not going to be putting it in the guide. You can use a rune pouch and only take up 1 inventory slot. However, I don't recommend this simply because every time you die, you're going to lose the rune pouch, and that's 1.2 million bounty points down the drain. And again, if you're just starting out, you might die a decent amount. So, in general, guys, you can use Vengeance. However, I'm not going to include it in this guide, simply because it's not really necessary, and if you're just starting out, it kind of hurts you more than it helps you, in my opinion. Alright guys, so now I'm going to show you a couple of ways on how to actually get to Zulrah, how to start the boss fight, how to reclaim your items if you die, and how to properly bank after a kill. So, the best way to get there is to use a Zulrah teleport. It teleports you directly to Zulrah, and it only costs 240 GP on the Grand Exchange. However, if you are an Iron Man account, the only way you can get these scrolls is by killing the boss itself. So when you first start off, you're not going to be able to use the scrolls. So what you should do is grab some coins and head to Catherine Bank. Once you get there, run directly south, and then charter with the crew members to Port Tyrus, as Zulrah is located just south of Port Tyrus. But again, guys, if you're not an Iron Man, make sure you just buy these teleports. They're very, very cheap, and they're the best way to get there. So, charter to Port Tyrus. After that, just start running directly south. It's only down here just a little bit. After that, I'm going to show you guys how to start the boss fight. It's actually, it's not complicated, but it actually took me a bit of time to figure it out myself, as there were really no guides on YouTube that showed me directly how to do it, and I want this to be a very complete guide, so give you all the info you could possibly want to know. So, run just south of Port Tyrus once again. I should be coming up on the Zulrah camp in just a second. And now I am here. If I just go a bit south, there is a gnome woman named High Priestess Zulrah. You're going to want to talk to her straight away, go through all of her chat dialogues, and she will allow you to board the Zulrah boat. So make sure you talk to her right away, and then you can start the fight. Once you get over here, if you are to die, you can talk to Priestess Zulrah. Right-click her and click on Collect, and she'll give your items back. And to start a Zulrah kill, you can just board the sacrificial boat, which I'll do for shits and giggles, I suppose. But I'm going to teleport out of here. Now I'm going to show you guys where these Zulrah teleports actually take you. And they take you, boom, literally in the middle of the camp. So, again, that is why Zulrah teleports are so nice. But that's two ways to get there. That's how you start. That's how you collect your items. And lastly, this is how you bank. So say you just finished a Zulrah kill. Right-click on a Ring of Dueling. Teleport to Clan Wars. Now, there is a reason we're doing this. There is a white portal over here. And if you enter it and then leave it again, it restores all your stats. So after you're done with a kill, teleport to Clan Wars. Run directly to the west. Enter the free-for-all portal and then leave once again. And it'll restore your stats. And the reason why you want to do this is because if you don't do that, you have to waste food and prayer potions restoring your stats between kills. However, this does it for free, and conveniently, there is a bank right here. Alright guys, so now let's talk about some gear and inventory setups that you can use at Zulrah, because I am going to be leaving the rotations part for absolute last before I start doing some kills. What I currently have on is a very low level range gear setup. In this guide, I'm going to try and focus on lower level setups, because I know I can show you guys like max gear setups, but honestly, if you have that gear, you probably have a good understanding of it anyway. So I'm going to start off by showing some very minimal gear to show you guys that it is possible, even if you don't have amazing gear. So I'm currently wearing a God Coif, an Amulet of Glory, black DI top and bottom, snakeskin boots, Barrow's gloves, a rune crossbow, Ava's accumulator, Diamond Bolt C, an Armored Book, and a Ring of Recoil. All these items are actually very, very easy to get, and this setup is very cheap. I do recommend trying to use magic if you can, but say maybe you're an Iron Man and you don't have a trident yet, this setup will also work quite well. In my inventory, I have a couple of prayer potions, a ranging potion, an anti-venom plus. This can be replaced with an anti-venom like a normal one, or if you have a serpentine helm, you can replace your coif with that and you would not need this potion at all. I also have an extra Ring of Recoil, a Ring of Dueling, a couple of Carom Bombs as combo eating food, although these are not necessary. If you have them, bring them though, they are useful. Some Zulrah teleports, and again, if you don't have these, I will show you how to get there without the teleports in a bit, and the rest sharks. Alright, so now let's take a look at a medium level setup that uses both magic and range and does not use full void. I have on a Serpentine Helm, an Amulet of Glory, Mystic top, bottom, and boots, Barrow's gloves, a Trident of the Seas, a Zamorak cape, Diamond Bolt C, a Zamorak book, and a Ring of Recoil. This is a great medium level setup that will work very, very well, and if you do not have a Serpentine Helm, you can replace it with a Helm of Need Is Not. A Helm of Need Is Not gives you great prayer bonus and some defense bonuses as well, but again, if you do not use this helm, you will need to bring an anti-venom. In your inventory, I have a black DI top, bottom, Ava's accumulator, and rune crossbow switch for when I'm using range. I have a magic potion, a ranging potion, an anti-venom plus. Now again, if you are using a serpentine helm, you can just remove this from your inventory. Then I also have one prayer potion, an extra Ring of Recoil, a Ring of Dueling, some combo eating food, some more Zulrah teleports, and the rest sharks. Alright, so now let's take a look at a medium level setup that uses full void magic and full void range. Now full void magic gives a 30% boost to magic accuracy, which would seem really good. However, at lower level magic, you actually benefit more by having a high magic attack bonus from wearing robes. However, if you use the previous medium level setup, you are not using full void range, and full void range is very good at Zulrah, so this is still a great method. So I have on full void magic, Mystic Boots, a Trident of the Seas, Zamorak Cape, Diamond Bolt C, a Zamorak Book, and a Ring of Recoil. And in my inventory, I have a Void Range Helm, Rune Crossbow, and Ava's Accumulator Switch, an extra Ring of Recoil, a Range Potion, a Magic Potion, a Prayer Potion, an Anti-Venom Plus, a Dueling Ring, some Zulrah Teleports, some Combo Food, and the rest Sharks. Alright, and for the last gear setup I'm going to show you guys is going to be a bit of a combination gear setup. This gear setup is going to give you a high magic attack bonus by using your robes, but will also give you all the benefits of wearing full void range. So I currently have on a Void Range Helm, an Amulet of Fury, Aram's Top and Bottom, Infinity Boots, Void Gloves, Trident of the Seas, Zami Cape, a Zami Book, and a Ring of Recoil. Now again, I know I mentioned that Full Void Mage gives a 30% boost to magic accuracy, but trust me guys, having high magic attack bonus definitely will outweigh that boost, so this is a great setup. Now if you look at the inventory, I have a Void Knight Top and Bottom, Ava's Accumulator, and Rune Crossbow Switch for my range setup, and then I also have a Ranging Potion, a Magic Potion, a Prayer Potion, an Anti-Venom Plus, an extra Ring of Recoil, a Ring of Dueling, Zulrah Teleports, Combo Food, and Sharks. Again guys, that is going to be the last gear setup. Now this was my highest level setup on this last clip here, and I could have used stuff like a Trident of the Swamp and a Blowpipe and all that, but in all honesty guys, it's really not that necessary, and if you have those items, of course you should use them, but for the guide's sake I am showing the lower level setups. Anyway, now that we're through all of the gear setups, let's take a look finally at all of the rotations. Alright guys, it is now finally time to take a look at all 4 rotations of Zulrah. I will have a link to all of these pictures down below in the description. If you want to look at each rotation on its own separate picture, that definitely will help, not to mention the fact you can look at these pictures while you are killing the boss itself for reference. So again, the link is down below in the description. But with that, let's kind of look at the maps themselves and see how they work. So basically, throughout all these maps, I have numbered circles and squares that correspond with one another. So if we take a look in the top left-hand corner at rotation number 1, you will see that I have a green number 1 circle with a corresponding green number 1 square. What that means is that the first spawn of the rotation will be a range phase, which is why it is green, and the 1 square shows you roughly where to stand. Now keep in mind, I had limited space to work with, so I couldn't put the squares exactly where to stand, but I'm going to show you some clips of kills later on, so if you watch those, that should show you exactly where to stand, but the squares should give you a good idea of where you are going. But again, basically guys, that is it. The rotations are very important to learn, so hopefully you guys study these and can get a good grasp of them. And once again, the link is down below in the description. And with that, I think I'm going to show you just a few more boss mechanics kind of slowed down and explained, and then I can show you guys some raw clips. Alright guys, so now let's take a look at how to dodge the melee attacks. So as you can see, he's going to turn towards me and target me. As soon as he does that, all I'm going to do is take 2 or 3 steps towards the east, and he will miss me entirely. Now once I've moved, he's going to target my new position, so all I have to do is run back to my original spot I was standing in, and he will once again miss me. It's pretty easy to dodge guys, I just wanted to show you guys it in kind of a slowed down version, so you know exactly how to do it. Alright, so here's a second way to deal with it. As long as you are standing on this side of the map, if you stand up alongside this pillar as you see I am doing right now, he will not target you whatsoever. So if you're on this side of the map and you have a melee phase, just stand next to this pillar and you can stand there and you won't have to move whatsoever. Alright guys, now let's take a look at the Jad Phase of Zulrah, which is actually very simple, but it can be a bit intimidating. Basically guys, all you do, as soon as you see the attack leave Zulrah, you instantly can change back to the next style. So if you watch right here, literally as soon as I saw that range attack leave Zulrah, I instantly switched back to Prey Mage. And vice versa. I think a lot of people are under the misconception that you have to be praying the correct thing as the attack is hitting you, and that is not true at all. All you have to be doing is praying the correct thing as Zulrah is casting the attack. So if you watch closely once again, Zulrah casted range, and boom, as soon as I saw it, I instantly switched back to Prey Mage. It's very easy to learn guys. If you're really struggling though, watch this clip back a few times and really watch my timing. But again guys, as soon as Zulrah casts it, you can instantly switch back to the next style and you will take no damage at all. Alright guys, and lastly for the guide, I am going to show you 1 kill of each rotation at Zulrah. I know I personally am a bit of a visual learner, so I like to watch people kill the boss a few times before I kill it myself. If you look in the top left-hand corner, you can see the rotation number, and if you look in the top right-hand corner, you can see the spawn number. So what I recommend you do is you open up a map alongside this video, and then you can follow along on the map, the rotation spawns, and you can watch me do it at the same time. I know that definitely helped me, so hopefully it'll help you guys out. To be honest though, I really don't have much to commentate over these clips, so I think I'm just going to throw in some music, and hopefully these last clips help you guys out, and I'll be back in a little bit with the outro. And that's all she wrote. That is going to be it for the guide, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. I put a lot of time into this guide, so I hope it really did help you guys out. Feel free to leave a like down below if this guide did help you or you enjoyed the video in general. And feel free to leave a comment with any questions or concerns you may have. And once again, guys, thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day.